Good evening. Today it's Tuesday. Excuse me for the shaky camera. Today is Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. I'm trying something a bit different here with my camera position because I have some stuff that I want to show on my desk. Starting from this weekend, I've been busy working on another project that is not Battle Club after a while, which is pretty cool, and it helps me to refresh my mind, not to get stuck for too long in one project, and hopefully by doing so, when I come back to that other project, I will come with a fresh mind. So what I did this weekend is I had a chance to revisit my old board game project that I already put up on YouTube but never had a chance to finalize and put out there, and that is the Battleship made TTRPG. It was a fun project, had some potential, but for some reason I just need to postpone it last time. So what I did this weekend, I started to dig out my box to find the old prototypes, check my old notes, try to understand what I've been doing last time. And what's fun is actually, since there are some stuff that I already forget and cannot understand from my notes alone, I decided to rewatch my YouTube video, and there I realized that not only YouTube video is great to put myself out there, but it could also serve as a personal documentation for me. So if I forget something, I can always rewatch the video and try to understand what I said and what I did. And on top of that, I had a chance to judge it with a fresh mind. So, long story short, after I watched that video, this Battleship TTRPG, I finally starting to understand again what I'm trying to do, what the game is about, and I also realized that this game needs to be much more simpler. The idea here is to mix the two classic board game, the Battleship, the classic one where you can place your warships in a grid paper and try to guess the location of your opponent battleships. So that's one game that I want to combine with a typical TTRPG where you control a character that has stats, and this character also walks per tiles and can interact with other person and objects. So that's what I'm trying to combine. And I spent my time working on that this weekend, and it's not me if I don't redesign the physical look of it from scratch. So that's also what I did, and I came up with this new model for the board game. Now it stays in a much smaller box that has a keychain in it with a print-in-place carabiner, because I'm just currently obsessed with it. I'm trying to add this into almost all of my recent projects. I really love how it looks like. It has a nice carving as a cover with a new title, because there was no title for the old board game. I'm calling this board game Earthriser, and more on that later. And this is how it looks like. There's also a nice ornament here that has actually a real function. So you can open the box, and inside you will have two gridded board is 6x6, and just like a board game, you can place your battleship here. In this case it's a spaceship if you already watched the previous videos, and this is where you can mark what you are trying to attack towards your opponent. So far this is still a at least 2-player type of board game, just like a Battleship. And the reason I made it small because I want it to be a much simpler game that can be played mobile, like wherever you go, and for a short time. With that being said, I also, in the previous version, I used a dice this separately, and now I convert it into a rolling wheel that rotates. It has a 6-side now. I don't know if you can see it, that you can rotate, and the reason why it has an opening at the back is so that it's transparent and your opponent can always tell which dice did you roll, so you cannot lie about the result of the dice. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this type of design that has not only a nice aesthetic but also some functionality to that. Also really love this new colored theme, and actually the title here can turn into a leg so that this thing can stand a bit like so. Lastly, this part right here has a drawer that you can open, and it stores the pieces, this red and orange pieces, so you can always collect. And there is a small slot where you can insert your hero tag so that you can always open to check your space crew stats. That's really cool. I really love the new design, and you can always hold it with one hand. The idea here is you don't even need a desk to play this. You can always hold it like so, and you can play while holding it. So yeah, I love how it looks, and because this is a 2-player game, I need to make a 2 version. Before that, for those of you who don't know what it is about, basically this is like a Battleship game, like I mentioned before, but instead of placing different battleships in this grid format, you build your own spaceship with a cannon, shield generator, oxygen producer and stuff, and you also have your heroes that can walk around this spaceship, and to do an action you need your hero to interact with what's inside it. So if you want to shoot your opponent, then you need to go adjacent to the cannon, perform some ability check, and then when you're successful, then only then you can hit battleship. You can attack battleship styles. There's also shield generator, and then obviously I'm gonna make a long video, especially a long dedicated video only for this, but this is just like a quick summary of the game. So if in return, if your enemy guess it correctly and it hits one of your ship parts, then you need to take off that ship parts, and it means that, for instance, your cannon got hit, then you need to take off your cannon, and it means that you cannot use that cannon anymore. And let's say if your shield generator got hit, it means there is no more shield to protect you from incoming attack, and so on and so on. So that's the idea of it. And in the previous version, it's in a much bigger board. It means that you can build a bigger spaceship that can house and accommodate up to 3 crews. But since this is smaller, you can only have 1 crew, so this is a bit more like a Han Solo minus Chewbacca in a smaller Millennium Falcon type of thing. So yeah, this is how it looks like. And I also made in this color with the same function. So yeah, you have the dice here as an accent with the engraving, and here there is actually a Latin saying here. It says, I don't know how to read Latins actually, but basically it says ad mori per astra, which means, I just found this on the internet and double check if it's true. Ad mori per astra means to die by the stars. It has something to do with the lore that I've been thinking, so more on that later. So yeah, I'm quite happy with what I came up so far and working on for the past days since this weekend. I've been intending to make this as a small, super compact board game that people can bring around and do a quick battle with your friends on the way. That's why the design is really small. Reminds me a bit of a Digivice or Tamagotchi, but instead of a digital game, it is a board game in a super compact size. Let me know what you think, and long dedicated video for this are coming soon. On top of that, I also finalized the battle counter. Thanks for the comments from my previous video. I also made some improvement. For instance, someone commented that the hands for both dial needs to be different, especially the one on the top needs to be smaller, so you can always access both at the same time. And I also added a small ratchet at the back, although it's not smooth yet, but now I made sure that the number won't be merged so easily and stays in place. And lastly, I think this is the coolest one that I managed to make to solve the problem with the measuring tape. Now it's a print in place chain track, so that it can still be bendable and you can roll it inside, but it maintains its structural integrity. Unfortunately, I can only make up until 4 range because of the small size, but I think this is pretty cool for, and I mean it kind of fits for this small build of keychain. I also printed this just as a nice aesthetic. It says battle counter here on the side. I think when I designed this, the final version, I want something that not only functional but could also be a nice merchandise or keychain that you can bring around and make people ask what this is interest to this piece. Anyway, that's the update I have for today. It's been a productive day since last weekend. Quite happy because I made something new from scratch, although this is not a new project, but I just really love with how the design looks like. So yeah, can't wait to finalize this new board game and put it out there. And yeah, what else? Lastly, pre-order is finally back open again. So if you guys interested to get yourself the printed or the physical version of my creation like Pocket Dungeon, Battle Clubs, please kindly check out my store at www.asdfclub.com, link in the description section below. Yeah, kindly check it out and share some love. And yeah, that's the update for today. I'll see you in the next log entry. Bye bye.